Hello my friends, this is FC7. I hope everyone's doing well. Today I'm going to share my hunt for non-prestigious augments in EverQuest. These are augments that do not require all access to use. Most of the augments in the game require all access, but these are for, the budget gamer. I personally just keep accounts active on all access a month out of the year. So here we start at raidloot.com. This will give you a nice list of all the Augs in the game, and you can sort by prestigious and non-prestigious. So this is a pretty good list here. And there's two thoughts to this. You can either go with hit points and mana, or go with AC. Some people think at a certain point AC is more important than hit points and mana, which I agree with, because if you're dealing with thousands and thousands of points, a hit from a mob's not going to make much difference when it comes to hit points. So AC is pretty much the way to go. Here's a list that I'm going to concentrate on. It's a nice mix of AC and hit points and mana. So there's 21 in total, and we will start with the easiest one, which is the Glowing Emerald. This is just from a quest called Exploring the Guild Hall. I actually have a video on it somewhere on my channel. It's a few years old now, so maybe I'll just redo it. But in order to do this, you need a guild, which is easy to do. Just create 6 accounts, and you have a guild. Or just ask someone, and you can just join their guild quick and do this quest. So just talk to that NPC, get the quest, and you're off. So a good thing about this Aug is that it's not tied to a lore group, so you can get more than one, but it's not like you can get the top tier 170 HEM. There's like 170, and then there's one that has 90 and 90. So it depends on your level. And there's no AC to this Aug, so I like to think of it as a nice holder Aug, just until you can get a augment with an AC, a decent one. So some additional information while I get started here. This is on the live servers, it's not progression. It seems that the developers stopped releasing decent non-prestigious Augs around the Broken Mirror, so nothing really goes beyond that. The Broken Mirror seems to have the best non-prestigious Augs, so we're going to be spending a lot of time there. So we'll just finish this quest up here. And get this out of the way, get this done, and then start some decent ones. And I think if you have a heroic tune, they have some decent Augs too. So you can start with some heroic Augs that they have. But I think the ones that I'm going to show are replacements. They can be replacements for the heroic Augs easily. So just finish this quest up. But I'll have to look deeper into that because I haven't had a heroic character in a while. I think you might have to do quests for any augmentations. I don't know if they just give you some, but I'll have to look into that. So either way, there's the first one, and now we'll move on to the Imbued Feather. This is a zone-wide drop in VOL. So I usually just take my box team, gather up as many mobs as possible, DPS them down, and hope for a drop. And I'm going to show an example here. So just gather up as many as you can. Know your limits, because these mobs can still do some damage to you if you're not properly geared. We'll just pull these. DPS them down. And just look through the loot list. Should be there. This is a really common drop, so it shouldn't take too long to get this. Alright. So on to the next one on the list. This is the sickly Distended Horseshoe. It's from Brightfire in TBM, the ROL. So there is a quest required to get in here, and I will show it in a second here. This is into the Temple A, Seal of Approval, and into the Temple B to get the Mirror Fragment. The Mirror Fragment will allow you to get into the zone. So here's the named. Drop them, and you'll get the Aug. So that's Aug number 2. On to number 3, which is in the same zone. This is the Rummager's Bauble. This one is probably the hardest one I had to get, and all of my characters are way above the intended level in this zone. But it's just the ads that are really difficult. There's so many of them, and they respawn really fast. So here are the placeholders for them. So we have placeholder number 1 coming up. Right there, the War Master. Placeholder number 2, the War Master right there. And then there's another War Master in here. So after just killing all 3 of them, eventually the mob will spawn, the named. And hopefully you get the drop. So we'll just DPS him down. Like I said, you really have to be on your toes for this one because lots of repops, really fast repops. So we'll just see what happens here. And there we go. It's more of a caster Aug, so I just gave it to my enchanter. On to Demiplane of Decay for Predatory Markings. And again, you'll need the Mirror Fragment to get in this zone. Placeholder number 1 for the named is right there. Placeholder 2 is right here. And then placeholder 3 is here. So just do a circle, keep killing those 3, and eventually the named will spawn. So here she is. Not too much of a problem. And the markings right there. Now on to the next one. This will be the Remnants of the Darkseer, and he drops Speed of Darkness. Also in Demiplane of Decay. So what I usually do is just jump off the bridge here. Just make a leap off. And the first placeholder should be in this general area, right over there. The first assistant there. So then, to get to the second placeholder, click on that area underneath the statue. Just drop down. And the assistant is right there. That's placeholder number 2. And then there's a small cave here that's almost invisible. Move on to placeholder number 3. And again, just cycle through them, keep killing all 3 of them until the name spawns. So there I had the name spawn, and he dropped it. There's a Speed of Darkness. And on to the next Aug. So it's Glistening Oil from Vizier Albert. So just zone into the Demiplane of Life. And the placeholders are right near the zone in. It's really easy. So we have placeholder number 1, the Doubtful Functionary. There's placeholder number 2. And number 3 is actually outside a little bit, right there. So again, cycle through until the name pops, and there he is. Once he's down, hopefully he drops the Aug. So there we have Glistening Oil. Now I thought I'd mention 3 augmentations that are a random drop throughout the entire Broken Mirror expansion. This is the first one. And as you can see, I actually have that one here. Second one is Voracity. And hopefully these 3 drop while you're camping the other Augs in the Broken Mirror. If you're going to be doing a lot of killing in this expansion, these might drop for you. There's Hypocricy. So you can't just camp a name for them. They could be from any mob in the Broken Mirror expansion. Luckily, I've gotten all 3. Alright, so next one is the Condensed Dissected Bile from the Devourer of All and Crypt Soul. So here we are in the crypt. And this is a name that you have to kill. And his location I will show. You just get in this zone by clicking on the skull that is on the table. I don't think you need the Mirror Fragment to get in here. Just Invis versus Undead through these guys. This is the placeholder and the named right up here. The Devourer of All. And with any luck, he'll drop the Aug. And sure enough, there it is. So what I'm going to do now is just do a quick review of the Augs so far. So here they are. It should be 11, which is a nice start. And these next 2 are going to be a little bit different because they're actually Augs that you can purchase in the Call of the Forsaken expansion. It's the Doomscale gem and the Deathswell crystal. So you'll buy these with Marks of Valor, and they can be purchased from doing quests in, like I said, the Call of Forsaken expansion. If you're familiar with Gribbles, you can just do a bunch of Gribbles adventures and get a bunch of these Marks of Valor. So just go up to the group merchant here and sort it by cost, because anything over 1,000 is prestige. Anything that is under that should be non-prestige. So these 2 are easy to get, and I think I have a couple videos on my channel about how to get a lot of these marks, just going through adventures. Just look up Gribbles, how to solo Gribbles. So these next 3 that I'm going to link are actually summoned from a magician. So these are very important because they have a lot of AC and probably the best secondary augmentation for a non-prestige player with 50 AC. So this one's easy. Just open up the bazaar window and look for them for sale. As you can see, there's a million of them. Don't pay anything outrageous though, because they're not worth anything really. Maybe 100 platinum at most. Some people have it for like 10,000. That's crazy. I have a mage here. This is just the spell that you use to summon them. So if you have a mage, just use a spell and keep clicking on the cauldron, and eventually you'll get 3. And these are actually really good augmentations. I have these on all of my characters. It's important to keep in mind that there is some kind of cap on AC when it comes to every single slot except secondary. So if you have a shield, you'll want to put as much AC in the shield as possible. Right now on my mage, I'm wielding a 2-hander, but every other character I have, this Aug is in the shield. So on to the next one. And this is actually a quest. This drops in the chest. It's the Tumbled Jasper, and it's from the quest Legacy of Bile. Here's a prereqs for it, so you can't just request it. You have to go through these missions. But it is EverQuest, so you shouldn't mind doing some work questing to get this task. Just zone in here, and this one is really easy if you're probably like above level 115. It shouldn't take you too long, depending on your box setup. And I'll just show a little bit of it here. This used to be very difficult when it was current content. So just get your box team set up. And after everything is dead, just go and hail the NPC. You should be okay. Open the chest, and hopefully you'll get the drop. So Tumbled Jasper. Now on to the next one. And this will be the Pollen Pod. This is from another task that has prereqs. So here they are on the screen. And this Aug is, I would say, is probably the most important one because it fits in the range slot, and there's not a lot of these that fit in range. So don't miss out on this one. This one's really important. So just request a task here. This task can be kind of difficult if you're not prepared, depending on how you're geared and what level you are. So I'll just show a little bit of it here. Run to get in position. Get up here. Get your team up here. It really just involves killing like 5 mobs, and then you're swarmed at the end. And this is probably the hardest part. But if you make it through, then you're good to go. Come back. Get the glass shattered. And get the chest. So, there's a Pollen Pod. On to the next one, which is the Clump of Concentrated Ethernere, if I'm pronouncing that right. And this is another task. Pretty hefty requirements, but luckily in all these tasks, just one person has to go through these, so it's not like everybody in the group does, which is a good thing. So just request a task from this guard. Zone in, and it's pretty much just protecting the dragon that's behind you. And you can choose to have the mobs come single file or all at once. And I think you get an achievement for just choosing the all at once, which is what I did. And again, I'll just show a little bit of the task here. It's really easy if you have a wizard. You can just instant DD these guys down. And at the end there's a named, which should be easy to kill if you have like a ranger with headshot. So hopefully at the end you get the Aug. I didn't get the Aug this time, but I do have a character with it, so this is what it looks like. I still have to get a few of my characters this one. Alright, now on to the Darklight Emblem. Not the fanciest Aug, but it does have 45 AC. So here's the prereqs. And you have to be illusioned as a Dark Elf. I learned that the hard way. When you come up to the prince here, make sure you're a Dark Elf. Okay, so request it. And he roams around the room too, so just be aware of that. So after you zone in, you can either choose to talk to the king or talk to the queen. I'll talk to the queen here. For some reason she's half yellow. I don't know if that's just a graphics glitch or what, but I know they've been having weird issues lately with graphics ever since the DirectX 11 upgrade. So never know what to expect. So you just get swarmed by these mobs. Just DPS them all down. And there you go. You get some achievements if you do it quick enough. Open the chest. And there we go. Got the emblem. Alright, so here is the 20 that I've shown so far, and there is a 21, the Incense of the Ever-Living. I don't have video of it, but here's the mob that drops it. It's in the Demi-Plane of Life, and I actually do have the Aug. My Necro has it from ages ago. I haven't played my Necro forever, so somehow through the years he's gotten one. But unfortunately I haven't had a chance to catch this mob on video. And here's some honorable mentions. They didn't quite make the cut in this video, but there's Blood of the Fallen and Rune of the Oasis. There's zone-wide rares. If you're really desperate for Augs, you can camp those as well. So that should just about do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Look for another video in the future, and tell me what you think. Give me a thumbs up if you want to, subscribe,